Welcome into your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Dan Collins alongside broadcast partner Jordan Swig for the third Scout Showcase game of the day. And the second for the Matsu Miners, they just defeated the Anchorage Glacier Pilots moments ago by a score of 7-4 in their first Scout Showcase game of this weekend. This is the second one, a doubleheader here. There were two teams in the ABL that had to play doubleheaders, one being the Miners and the other one being the opposing team here right now in game two, the Anchorage Bucs, who will play a doubleheader tomorrow night. So this is game two for the Miners. It's technically a doubleheader, a twin bill, of course, only going 7 innings, and we will give you the starting lineup for the visiting Matsu Miners. Leading things off to the plate, A.J. Lee. Batting second, the second baseman Levi Jordan. Third is going to be Jake Scudder. The cleanup hitter Tyler Wyatt, who started in game one on the mound for the Miners, being the cleanup hitter tonight. Left fielder Garrison Schwartz bats fifth. Cam Montgomery, he's the right fielder. He's batting sixth. Angelo Armento, the shortstop, bats seventh. Sharpley, the catcher, batting eighth. And Scooter Bynum, the center fielder, is going to round out the lineup. And to lead things off here, it is going to be A.J. Lee with a double. So he had 3 hits in game one. Leads things off here with a double. So A.J. Lee putting on a show for the Scouts. It's going to bring up second baseman Levi Jordan, who did not play in game one. The outfield from left to right for the Bucs. Maltese, Sensley Johnson, Reynolds, the first baseman, Tatum, the third baseman. Double play combination is Hatch and Trejo. And the battery is Alex Gwinnett, the catcher, Sean Sparling, the starting pitcher. And he's going to throw that fastball by a swinging and missing Levi Jordan. Sparling, during the regular season, made 8 appearances, all out of the bullpen. Has pitched 11 2/3 innings, given up 9 hits, 4 runs. They're all earned. 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. Comes in with a record of 1-0 with a 3.09 ERA. Levi Jordan is going to check things up there. They say he goes around. So 0-2 the count now on Levi Jordan. A.J. Lee at second. He started this ball game off with a double. And here's the pitch to Jordan. Breaking ball low and outside for ball 1. So 1-2 count here on the Miners' second baseman. Levi Jordan, who will be in the All-Star game this Sunday, slaps this one through the hole in between first and second. A.J. Lee's going to hold up, so they'll put runners at the corners, nobody out. And up comes the first baseman, Jake Scudder. Jake Scudder leads the league in RBIs with 20. Has 2 round trippers on the year. He will be in the Home Run Derby this Sunday. 7 RBIs in his last 3 games. That includes 3 doubles and 6 hits. Swing and a miss on that one. Has also scored 3 runs. So Jake Scudder been doing a lot of work. He has brought his average up from 209 to 247 during that 3-game hitting streak. Sparling from the set. Here it comes. That one slaps to the third baseman, Tatum. He's going to throw home, and they're going to tag out A.J. Lee at the plate. So it'll be a fielder's choice 5-2. Looks like perhaps A.J. Lee was running on contact. And the Bucs choose to make sure they don't give up the first run of the ballgame. Tatum very easily could have went around the horn for a 5-4-3 double play. That would have been 2 outs, but instead he decides to go and gun the runner out at the plate and get make sure the Miners stay off the scoreboard here in the top of the first inning. So here's Tyler Wyatt at the plate. Mentioned he started the first game against the Pilots and not earn the victory because he only went 4 2/3 innings. It was his teammate, relief pitcher out of Grand Canyon University, Mick Vorhoff. It was a GCU combination in game one. Vorhoff got the victory in his 2 1/3 innings pitch to give up 2 hits and 2 runs. Wyatt gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. But now not only is he hitting in game 2, but he's the designated hitter and in the cleanup spot. So the count 1-2. 1 out. Scudder at first. Levi Jordan at second. And the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 2. Still no score here in the top of the first inning, but the Miners are rallying. This one chopped over to third. It's a 2-hopper. Tatum upward. It fires the first, and that is not going to be good enough to get Tyler Wyatt. So an infield single for him, showing he could get it done both on the mound and at the plate. Now bring up the general, Garrison Schwartz, with the bases loaded here in the top of the first inning. 1 out. Schwartz lifted in the air left field, but it is going to go foul. We mentioned this is the third Scout Showcase game of the day. The first one between the Chugiak Chinooks and the Peninsula Oilers. Chinooks victorious in that game by a score of 3-0. Game 2 was just a little while ago, ended just about an hour, 20 minutes ago. Miners victorious over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 7-4. This being the third and last game here on Friday at Mulcahy Stadium for the Scout Showcase. There will be a game tomorrow for the Miners. First pitch scheduled for 7 p.m. Here's the 1-1 to Schwartz. In the air, right field. Now it's Sensley racing in. Johnson will make the grab. He's going to throw it on into the infield, but Levi Jordan reaches home on that sacrifice fly. So the Miners indeed will play to run here. And it is 1-0, drawing first blood in the top of the first inning.
And the Miners kind of needed that after A.J. Lee was thrown out at home plate with only 1 out. The Bucs had the option, like you mentioned, Dan, to turn the double play and get 2 outs and give up the run, but they opted not to turn the double play and get the out at the plate. And the Miners are able to score 1 finally in this inning.
Low for ball to Cam Montgomery. That one just catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. So 1-1 the count now on Montgomery. Scudder at second and Tyler Wyatt on first. 3 hits this inning, 1 sac fly, score 1-0, Miners over the Bucs. This one slapped left side. McCarthy's got it. I'll put it over to Reynolds for out number 3, but not before the Miners tally 1 run here in the top of the first inning. And after a half inning of play, it's the Miners 1 and the Bucs coming to bat here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bucs are going to come up to the plate for the very first time tonight as we head to the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 the score here. Miners tailing 1 run in the top of the first inning, and here is the starting lineup for the Anchorage Bucs. Alan Trejo, the shortstop, leads things off. Second, it's L.J. Hatch, the second baseman. Steven Sensley is third. Coney Reynolds will be batting cleanup. Fifth, it's McCarthy Tatum, who's manning the hot corner tonight. Sixth, the designated hitter Aaron Arruda. Seventh, the catcher Alex Gwinnett. Eighth, the left fielder Cole Maltese. And the right fielder Ryan Johnson batting ninth. First pitch to the leadoff man and shortstop Alan Trejo. Taken for a ball. He lifts this one in the air. It's in the infield. Jake Scudder calls for it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. So it's Scudder, the first baseman. Double play combination of Levi Jordan and Angelo Armenta. AJ Lee is manning the hot corner. From left to right in the outfield, it's Garrison Schwartz, Scooter Bynum, and Cam Montgomery. Zach Sharpley, the catcher out of USC, is behind the dish, and Jordan Frederick on the mound for the Miners. This one lifted in the air right at Cam Montgomery. He'll make the grab for out number 2. So very quickly, 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning for the Bucs. Frederick has been in 2 games this year for the Miners. One of them was a start. In his 7 2/3 innings of work, he has given up 8 hits, 4 runs. They're all earned. 5 walks. Has 8 punch-outs to his name. Has a record of 0-1 with a 4.70 ERA. And now up to the plate comes Steven Sensley. He's a good one. You would imagine definitely an all-star here for the Anchorage Bucs. Would be absolutely shocked otherwise. He is in the running for the Triple Crown here this year in the ABL. Comes in with an average of .318. That's good enough for second behind Hunter Vansau of the Chinooks, who's batting .321. Has 3 home runs. That's also good enough for second behind another Chinook, Ethan Whisker, who has 4. And he has 19 ribbies, which is just 1 ribby away from the league leader, Jake Scudder, who is playing first base tonight for the Matsu Miners. Count now 2-1 on Steven Sensley. Frederick winds. Here's the 2-1, high and in. A little bit of chin music there. It's going to move the count to 3-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Nobody on. The 3-1 from Frederick. High and in the air. Into left field. Garrison Schwartz, Cam Sumter. It makes the grab for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down. Go the Bucs here in the bottom of the first inning. We now head to the second. The Miners 1, Bucs 0 on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. It is the shortstop out of USC, Angelo Armenta, leading things off here for the Miners. Armenta, a switch hitter. He'll be batting on the left side of the plate. The right-handed hurler gets into his wind, and now he fires away. That's going to be right down Broadway. Fastball for strike one. Angelo Armenta started in game one of this Scout Showcase doubleheader. He slaps this one right at first baseman Cody Reynolds, who's going to take it himself to the bag and retire Armenta for out number one. So it's the USC teammate for Armenta, Zach Sharpley, the catcher, who comes up to the dish with one out in the inning. Sparling's going to deliver. Fastball paints the corner for strike one. My partner Jordan Swick was providing the play-by-play in game one. If you were tuning in, then you heard him say that these games do not count record-wise in terms of conference play. There's a one-chopper off the glove of McCarthy Tatum, and Sharpley is going to reach first base safely. But these statistics do not count in conference play, nor do the records change in the ABL standings. This is purely for the scouts to see exactly what kind of talent is up here in the ABL. So the majority of the players, if not all, are going to play at some point this weekend, whether it be in tonight's doubleheader, tomorrow's ball game, or the Home Run Derby and All-Star game on Sunday. Scooter Bynum at the plate. Zach Sharpley reached on an E5. Scooter Bynum is going to pop this one up. It's in center field. Steven Sensley's under it. It's going to make the catch for out number two. So with two outs, it's going to be A.J. Lee, who was just tearing the ball up. Mentioned he had three singles. 3 for 3 he went in game one, the 7-4 victory. And he led off this ball game with a double to center field. So 4 for 4 on the night is A.J. Lee out of Maryland. Attaboy, A.J. Let's keep it up. Sparling is coming from the stretch. That one's low and in the dirt, ball one. Also, we are going to go 7 innings, no more, no less. Whether the home team leads or not, it's going to be 7 so that the scouts can see exactly what's going on. If the ball game is tied, well, it's a tie game. We'll see you later. Doesn't matter for the record books anyways in terms of the ABL standings. One the count here in A.J. Lee. Sharpley's going to take his lead at first. Reynolds is holding him on. Rest of the infield at double play depth. Now a throw over to first. Sharpley in safely. Sharpley once again will take his lead. Sparling's going to look over there. But now he sets and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 2 for A.J. Lee. Levi Jordan, the second baseman on deck, who singled and scored the game's first and only run last inning, the top of the first. We'll look over to the first. The 1-2. Swung on, foul back. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here on A.J. Lee. Sharpley is on first. Sparling looks over there. As he's been doing this whole sequence, he delivers, and Gwinnett tried framing that one perfectly, but it's going to be a little too high. And Deuce is now wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sparling shaking off Gwinnett there. Now looks over to first, still shaking him off. Finally sees a pair of signs that he likes. Unloads. This one's going to be chopped. 3-hopper over to Alan Trejo at short. Upload it over to first, and that is going to put down the Miners here in the top of the second inning. They do get a base runner, leave him on via the E5 to Zach Sharpley. So we'll move on down to the bottom of the second inning here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Cody Reynolds, the cleanup hitter, leading things off for the Bucs in the bottom of the second inning. They trail it by a score of 1-0. First pitch to him, he's going to take high and away for a ball. Frederick delivers, paints the outside part of the plate with a breaking ball, so 1-1 the count now. Reynolds now swinging at that one, is going to put it foul. Reynolds on the season is batting .232, has 22 hits on the year, 2 of them are doubles, has 2 round trippers, 10 ribbies. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So down goes Reynolds here via the swing and a miss for out number 1. It'll bring up to the third baseman, McCarthy Tatum. Tatum batting .247 on the season. Has 1 home run, 4 RBIs. The first pitch he sees, he takes it foul toward the right field seats. This one slapped in the air, but foul once again. So very quickly, the count 0-2 on the third baseman, McCarthy Tatum. Sharpley sets up outside. That's where he receives it, but it's a little too outside, says home plate umpire Silas Drayton. First base umpire Tim Davis. Third base umpire Marcus Dolan. This one slapped foul once again, so the count remains 1-2 on Tatum. And now Frederick is going to step off the mound, wants to take a good look at the signs once again from Sharpley. Now he's rocking on the hill, fires away, and what do you know? It's slapped away foul once again by Tatum. Up there at the dish, no batting gloves. The Bucs in all white, black pinstripes, black font, gold trim. Frederick delivers. This one is going to be blooped out into right field in front of Cam Montgomery. So a one-out single here for McCarthy Tatum. So that brings up the designated hitter, Aaron Aruda, up to the plate. Swings through that one for strike one. Throw over to first now by Frederick, but Tatum is back in, sliding safely. Another throw over to first. Tatum once again back in. Tatum now is going to take pretty good lead there at first. Frederick now has to come from the set. Here's his pitch. Breaking ball low and inside. So move the count to 1-1 here with one out. On the designated hitter, Aruda. The pitch to Aruda. High and in the air, right side. It's going to be Levi Jordan, the second baseman, going all the way by the foul line to make that catch for out number 2. And now it is 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. McCarthy Tatum still at first for the Bucs, and Alex Gwinnett, the catcher, coming to the dish. Gwinnett stands into the batter's box, batting .185 this summer. 2 RBIs, has walked 7 times. He takes this pitch and puts it in the air. Foul territory. The first baseman, Jake Scudder, gives it chase but can't make the grab. So it is going to be a foul ball, strike one to the Bucs catcher. And it looked like Jake Scudder actually picked up that foul ball and gave it to a lucky fan, a kid over there in the right field stands. And he tells Jake Scudder, "Thank you, first baseman." This one is going to be blooped once again to right field and is going to put runners on the corners. Tatum making his way all the way to third base on that one. So the Bucs get a runner in scoring position for the first time this ball game. Runners at the corners, 2 out here. In the bottom of the second, Cole Maltese, the left fielder, coming up to the plate. Sharply now giving the infield the rest of the signs, relaying them from the dugout. Then he says, "Wait, nope, that's not what it was. Let me go back out, show those signs once more." Looks over to the dugout. Dugout says, "Yeah, you got it this time." It's Tatum at third. Gwinnett, the catcher, at first. Frederick sets. There's the delivery, and it's a swing to miss, strike one on Cole Maltese. The pitch from Frederick, low and in the dirt. Good job by Sharpley, making sure it doesn't go to the backstop or too far out in front of him for that matter. And the count 1-1 on the Bucs left fielder. Miners looking to sweep the first day of the Scout Showcase. They have one more 7-inning matchup tomorrow night. As reminded, first pitch, 7 p.m. against these Anchorage Bucs. They're going back-to-back against the Buckaroos. That's nothing different. Earlier in this month, they had 5 straight games against the Bucs here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. We have a 3-1 count here now on Cole Maltese. Runners at the corners, 1-0 the score. Miners over the Bucs. Bottom of the second. Frederick fires away. This one hit foul. So Frederick, here comes the payoff. That one paints the outside part of the plate for strike 3. So Cole Maltese is going to strike out looking to end the bottom of the second inning for the Anchorage Bucs. They leave 2 runners on base, and we head to the top of the third inning. The Miners still leading by the slimmest of margins here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Levi Jordan, the second baseman for the Matsu Miners. Coming up to the dish, he singled and scored back in the first inning. First pitch to Levi Jordan, outside, ball 1. Miners lead by a score of 1-0 here. Top of the third inning. And Levi Jordan slaps that right back where it came from, and Sparling is going to make the grab for out number 1. That's a hang with him for Levi Jordan. Wow. That's a liner, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you can tell that he just slapped his glove out there, and it's just instincts. Usually, if it's right at you, you got to protect yourself. But it wasn't right at him. It's just, after he threw the ball, he just moved up his glove and he said, "Look what I got."
Yeah, almost like he went into defense mode there. But he makes the grab for out number 1. That first pitch to Jake Scudder, taking for a strike. 1-1 the count now to Jake Scudder, the Miners' first baseman. Sparling rocks, delivers. This one slapped foul. 1-2 the count here on Jake Scudder. Miners' first baseman. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. Scudder slaps this one foul. The 1-2 to Scudder. He moves that foul. One and two the count here on Jake Scudder. One out. Nobody on for the Miners. They lead at 1-0. This one hit in the air, right side, and it will fall for a single for Jake Scudder. Attaboy, Scud. Won't officially extend his hitting streak because it's a non-conference game, but nice to see Jake Scudder get a hit regardless. It'll bring up Tyler Wyatt, the designated hitter. He singled in his first appearance back in the first inning. So it brings Tyler Wyatt up to the plate and logged into Facebook earlier today and saw a little bit of a sad message. Ken Erdy, teacher out of the University of Illinois, a TV professor who absolutely spectacular, a friend, mentor of mine, losing his mother-in-law, or as he called her in his Facebook post, mom. So I'd like to tell you, Ken, I wouldn't be up here in Alaska without you, buddy, and family, and going to be in my prayers and thoughts tonight. Miss you and wishing you the best, bud. So after that flyout, it's going to bring up the left fielder, Garrison Schwartz. Had a sacrifice RBI back in the first inning. And speaking of Ken Erdy, he's a good one. Definitely a major Star Wars fan and movie buff. After the very latest Star Wars, I expressed my disappointment to him, but he kind of changed my mind around a little bit. So excited to see exactly where that Star Wars franchise is going to go. Rogue One comes out later this year. Jordan, I don't know if you're a fan, but I will definitely be coming out as you shake your head no. A little shocked you're not one of the Star Wars fanatics. Star Trek, perhaps? Still a no. All right, so we're not getting any kind of sci-fi action movie with Jordan. That one low and inside to the general. Ball 2. This one slapped over to short. Looks like Trehill's going to be able to make a play at first, and he does. So a 6-3 ground ball if you're scoring at home to end things here for the Matsu Miners in the third inning. They still lead it by a score of 1-0, though, as we head to the bottom of the third on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Ryan Johnson, the right fielder for the Bucs, comes up. This is his first plate appearance. Bottom of the third inning at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. Scout Showcase game number 2 for the Miners. Game number 3 overall. Chinooks defeated the Oilers in the very first game here. Quite a lot of games being played at Mulcahy Stadium for this Scout Showcase. And why not? That's part of what this is all about here in a summer collegiate league down in Alaska. It's all about these boys getting better at their craft. That one swing and a miss, strike 2. One into the count to Ryan Johnson, the right fielder. He's going to chop this one. It's a one-hopper to Armenta, running in, makes a throw to first, out number 1. Frederick is going to retire the first man he sees, and that's going to bring up Alan Trejo, the shortstop, who popped out to the first baseman, Jake Scudder, to lead things off for the Bucs in the bottom of the first. So this is his second go-around against Frederick. GCU combination of Tyler Wyatt and Mick Vorhoff in game 1. Vorhoff receiving the W. This one popped up. It's going to be the general out there in right field who makes the grab. Check that. That's Cam Montgomery. Garrison Schwartz would be so upset with me. Typically, it's Garrison out there lots of times in right field. Ooh, boy. Cam Montgomery with the honor of being called the general by mistake. Sorry, Cam. I'm going to have to take that one back, buddy. Only one man on the team who has that nickname. And actually, speaking of Schwartz, it was a delight to meet his family the other day, as this one's hit right into left field, and it's going to fall in front of Garrison. Not a lot of foul territory over there. He gets it in rather quickly, but it's going to be a 2-out double for the second baseman, LJ Hatch. And Jordan and I actually met the Familia Schwartz. They were absolutely a great group of people. And that is to no surprise, because Garrison Schwartz is one of the most friendly people up here. He is quite a delight to be around. He's an absolutely awesome individual and a heck of a lot of fun. The outfielder out of Grand Canyon University, and they actually tell us that they listen into every single broadcast when it's game time. It's quiet time in the house because Garrison's playing. So there's quite a lot of family support there. You go, Schwartz family.
Yeah, it was a delight to meet that Schwartz family. They listen every ball game, like you mentioned, and it's just so great to meet people who tune in on like a daily basis, and they like what we do up here. And it was nice chatting up with them for 10, 15 minutes or so. And Garrison obviously comes from a great family.
Jacob Huey just last night telling me that his family listens in quite often. Actually, his dad will host a couple buddies whenever it's game time. Jacob Huey playing in game 1 tonight. And he says sometimes the boys gather around the TV, they put the game on and crack open a couple cold ones. Well, next time you guys decide you're going to go that route, crack open a couple cold ones for the broadcasters, even though we cannot partake from hundreds and hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, and I think Brooks Stotler's family.
They know the Brooks Stotler special.
And we obviously know the Nickens clan.
So a lot of families listening in, and we do appreciate that. Hopefully we provide you with some great air candy and a good broadcast. As that latest pitch is going to move the count to 3-1 on the center fielder for the Bucs, Steven Sensley. And boy, are their boys working their tails off here in the last frontier. They are just putting in lots and lots of work. They do know how to have fun, though. They're actually over last night at the Grissom residence, riding around the jet skis and the boat. There is a little bit of unwind time, but when they're not unwinding, well, you can find them at the ballpark. The 3-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count here to Steven Sensley. 2 outs. LJ Hatch is on second. He reached via a double. Frederick's coming from the set. This one popped up. It's going to be in foul territory and now into the stands. And speaking of where you could find the Miners, well, the Miners spend their mornings lifting, running, and staying in shape by visiting the Alaska Club. Visit them in Anchorage, Eagle River, Fairbanks, Juneau, and the Mat-Su Valley. Or you can visit www.thealaskaclub.com. So we have another payoff pitch coming Sensley's direction. And here we go. Broken bat popped up to Levi Jordan. And that will end the inning. We now head to the top of the fourth. It's going to be Montgomery, Armenta, and Sharpley due up for the Miners here. It's on your Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Moving along to the top of the fourth inning we go. Montgomery, Armenta, and Sharpley due up for the Mat-Su Miners here in the top. You lead it by the slimmest of margins over the Anchorage Bucs here. In the second game of the Twin Bill, they were victorious in the first one against the other team from Anchorage, the Glacier Pilots, by a score of 7-4. And they currently have the lead here, score of 1-0. 0-1 to Montgomery, slaps it foul. Dan Collins on the call, joined by broadcast partner Jordan Swick and the special guest of the season, it seems like, Connor Higgins. Finally, another little bit of time to join the booth. Connor, welcome on back.
Thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
For those who either do or do not remember, Connor Higgins, quite a natural on the mic, provides fantastic analysis as long as pretty good clubhouse stories. Here's the 0-2, spanked into right center field that finds a gap. Higer, he gets the second, and he's going to pull up there with a leadoff double.
He's really been having a good day today. Ever since we got to the park, his BP has just been on unstoppable. Can't really think of a good word today, but yeah, he's really hitting the crap out of the ball today.
Well, he absolutely is, but as far as Cam Montgomery goes and as far as BP goes, it seems like his BPs are constantly like that. That's almost a regular for a guy like Cam Montgomery.
Oh, yeah, I like to see him actually do the home run derby. I don't know who's doing that yet from our team, but it'd be a treat to watch him, see if he could be in the home run derby for us.
Last we checked, it was definitely first baseman Jake Scudder who agreed to do it. No word on Cam Montgomery, but the guy possesses a ton of raw power. And up to the dish is the switch hitting shortstop, Angelo Armenta. Count 0-1 on him. So, Connor, you're obviously not seeing any time in this game, but that's because you were selected as an all-star, correct?
That is actually not correct. I am not an all-star.
So you will be pitching tomorrow, I take it?
Yes, I will be throwing one inning tomorrow, as long with Cody Deason will be throwing an inning tomorrow as well.
And are you going to be looking to light up the radar gun? It is the Scout Showcase.
That is my goal, just to go out there and air it out for a solid 15 pitches, I think, because I am starting Tuesday against the Chinooks, so this is my bullpen day on Saturday. So they figured why not make it a live bullpen with scouts in attendance and just try and show them what you got.
Armenta going to try to show the scouts what he has at the plate right now. Hits this left side, and it's going to get through the hole past the diving Alan Trejo. Coming around, trying to score is Cam Montgomery. The throw, the plate! Out, says home plate umpire Silas Straden. So head coach and third base coach Ben Taylor pushing, and out is Cam Montgomery at the dish for the first out this inning.
It was a heck of a play by left fielder Cole Maltese. We were saying that third base coach Ben Taylor was trying to wave home Montgomery to score, and at that point, Maltese hasn't reached the ball. At that point he didn't reach the ball. So I thought it was a pretty good call by the skipper to send him home, and they were just able to get him out too.
It did look like Cam did hesitate a little bit too off the bat. I don't know what he was waiting for. Ball on the ground. He should be advancing anyway. So
this one slap foul off the bat of the catcher out of USC, Zach Sharpley. He reached safely in his first plate appearance via the E5. So officially 0 for 1 on the night is Zach Sharpley. His second go-around coming here in the fourth. And Connor, obviously your first season up here in the ABL. This is your first go-around catching any little bit of the action here at the Scout Showcase. As this one once again finds a hole in the infield. So a single moving his night to 1 for 2 for Sharpley. Runners on first and second for the Miners. 1 out. Scooter Bynum coming to the dish. But as I was saying, Higgins, this is your first, you guess you could call it an all-star type of weekend. The showcases being the first of the festivities. Then we have the Home Run Derby, followed by the All-Star Game on Sunday. So a little bit of enjoyment from the club, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually really surprised with the number of scouts that are actually down there. Just being up here in Alaska, I thought it would be very limited with all the scouts that would come up. But there's probably 10, 15 good scouts down there. Yeah, it's a really fun weekend. Everyone gets a chance to show their skills. Games don't like count, so everyone's just out here having fun, showcasing.
And this is definitely not the first time that you've ever seen a scout, but I take it maybe perhaps a little bit of the nerves, or you just try to get that out of your head and go out and do your thing, throw as hard as you can, and impress.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's been the past couple of years. Every game's the same from now on, really.
And that's just about the best approach you could take, no matter if there's no scouts or 20 scouts in attendance. This one might find a spot. Yes, it is a blooper, and coming around trying to score is Armenta. No throw home, so he'll get there standing up. Huffing and puffing, almost looks like he needs an oxygen mask. Don't know why, but to the dugout he goes, and he is actually grabbing himself a nice thing of water right there. He went right to the Gatorade bucket. But scoring sometimes isn't the easiest thing from second base, so Armenta catching the breather now.
We give Angelo a lot of stuff for we call him a thick kid, but he's actually pretty well built. It's funny. He does look like he's out of shape a lot, but he's a pretty good ball player.
But not a dad bod like Vernia, I take
Nothing like dad bod Vernia. Not at all.
Nothing beating Justin Vernia is this one. Lone in the dirt for ball one. And, you want to talk about who's having a good day in front of these scouts. A.J. Lee being one of them. 4 for 5 in the 2 games combined. 3 singles in game 1, and a leadoff double back in the first inning for him. Grounded out to short in his last plate appearance, but 4 for 5 on the night from the infielder out of the Big Ten, A.J. Lee. So impressed with also what you're seeing from your infield team, and I take it, Connor Higgins.
Oh, yeah, definitely. These guys are getting better every game, especially AJ, Angelo, Levi, Bissonette, and Scudder. It's great just having those guys defensively and offensively with the way they're coming along recently.
Absolutely. We talk about it from time to time. The double play combination of Levi Jordan and Josh Bissonette so far has just been absolutely lethal. You combo that with either Lee or Armenta at third base and Scudder at first, have yourself a heck of an infield.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Anything that's on the ground, I expect them to make the play. That game Tuesday night was just unbelievable, some of the plays they made, especially Bissonette's one barehand play that tipped off my glove. That was one of the best plays I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, the 163 putout, that was a pretty good play, as we did mention that on air. But, last game, the defense actually picked up Wyatt a couple times. A couple double plays. 2 of them were hit to Bissonette. One was in the air where he took it to second base. It was a 6-4 double play, and the other one was a 6-4-3, and I'm pretty sure the other one was around the horn 5-4-3. But yeah, it must feel good as a pitcher to know that your defense can back you up in case you do make a mistake pitching an inning.
Oh yeah, definitely. It does give you a lot of confidence too. Even if you do let up that walk too, you really do have that confidence in them turning that double play because they are so lethal at the middle.
You go back to that game against Chinooks, actually, kind of. We talked about it a little bit the day after. A power pitcher like you would expect, I don't know, let's say anywhere between a handful to a little bit over a handful of strikeouts, but just one punch out for you that game. It came on the very last batter you faced. You gave a nice little Fernando Rodney-esque type of a fist pump before you decided you were going to exit the game. So putting it a little bit in the face of the Chinooks there, but we don't mind that at all in the broadcast. But that was your only punch out of the night, so you definitely were getting a lot of help and good defensive play by your boys, but maybe a little bit different go-around of you. You were efficient, pitching under 90 pitches, and definitely earned your W that night, but only the one punch out. A little surprising for a guy like you, huh?
Yeah, I was getting a little frustrated with the umpire strike zone, so I was throwing a little bit up higher in the zone because he wasn't calling anything low, and it was just working. They were grounding everything out, and so yeah, I was just throwing up in the zone all night, and then really too many swing and misses with 2 strikes. I was getting a lot of rollover balls, but yeah, it was a good punch out too because my location was falling off a little bit, and then Sharpley came out, gave me a good visit, and calmed me down, and then it was a great punch out to get us into the inning with some momentum.
So Connor feeling almost as if he had to throw it through a teacup on Tuesday night. So does that by any chance maybe change the way you're throwing in a game? If the strike zone is not to your liking, do you maybe adjust it a little bit to what the umpire's calling and mix things up a little bit there when you're on the hill?
It does it a little bit. I'm usually a low ball pitcher. I like to throw the ball at the knees. I'm usually a low and outside kind of guy. But yeah, so that game I was really just adjusting from the belt up and just throwing it right down the middle really and see what they would do with it. And it was working really good. Kind of the 5th without actually any hits, and then just left one a little too high up the middle over Nickens' head.
This one now inside to the second baseman, Levi Jordan. He's coming up to the plate with 1 out. Miners have a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 4th inning, and the bases are juiced with Matsu Miners, AJ Lee at first, Scooter Bynum at second, and Zach Sharpley at third. From the stretch comes Sparling, and it just paints the outside corner for strike 1. So now 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the man repping the number 1 jersey for the Miners, Levi Jordan. And I'm sure Higgins, as a teammate of these boys, what you want to see here, even though this does not count as a conference game or move anything in the ABL standings, you would like to see your ball club bust things wide open here with the bases loaded in the top of the 4th.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It helps the pitchers, too, because you want to win these games, but coming out with a lead, it's definitely a lot easier throwing with a lead. So breaking things open here would be good for our bullpen here. Just go out and have fun.
So we don't really know what the format is going to be for the home run derby. What we do know for sure is the man on deck, the first baseman, Jake Scudder, is going to be in that home run derby. So let's just say the format would be 10 outs, a typical old school type of home run derby. How many home runs you have chalking up for Jake Scudder?
Oh, Jake Scudder. It is pretty hard at this ballpark, though, because the ball does fly out to left, not as much as to right. I'm going to give Scudder, I'll give him a solid 5.
Double play ball here. 6, 4, 3. And down go the Miners here in the top of the 4th inning, but not before they could play 1 run, that being Angelo Armenta scoring from second base on a hit and then going right to the Gatorade machine. He went for a glass of water. So we now are halfway home in this 7th inning contest. It's the Miners 2 and the Bucs 0 on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the fourth inning, we are at Mulcahy Stadium. We have an 0-2 count on the cleanup man, first baseman of the Bucs, Cody Reynolds. Here's the wind, and the throw from Frederick. Tries to paint the outside part of the plate with a fastball. Does not. Move the count to 1-2. So 1-2 the count here to the man leading things off for the Bucs. Hits this one in the air. Scooter Bynum, the center fielder. Now it's Garrison Schwartz in left calling for it. Making the catch for out number 1. So with 1 down, it's going to bring up the third baseman, McCarthy Tatum. Dan Collins running alongside Jordan Swick, and for a half inning, the last half inning, we had Connor Higgins, left-handed hurler for the Miners. Joining us, always a blast having him up in the booth. McCarthy Tatum digging into the box. He's going to see the second pitch of this sequence from Frederick, and it's going to paint the corner and then move the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. Frederick wasting no time. He fires away once more. Fouled away, strike 2. Aaron Aruda, the designated hitter for the Bucs, awaits on deck. Frederick rocking on the hill, throws it high and inside at the Bucs lettering on Tatum's jersey. Move the count to 2-2. So we await the 2-2 count. Let's see what Frederick has for us. Outside, running the count full. The Miners have 2 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. Bucs have no runs on 3 hits and 1 error. This one hit in the air to center field. Scooter Bynum makes about 2 steps back, 1 step back in, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2. So 2 flyouts this inning. The first one to left, the second one to center, and that's going to be 2 up, 2 down. Up comes the designated hitter, Aaron Aruda. First pitch to Aruda in this sequence. High for a ball, and we would like to let you know that if your car needs a new taillight or just any sort of nut, bolt, or screw, then be sure to visit the Valley's locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts. They're in Big Lake, Palmer, and Wasilla. Visit www.napaalaska.com. Napa Auto Parts, the official sponsor of this Matsu Miners broadcast. 2-0 the count here to Aruda. Frederick's delivery. Slapped through the hole in between short and third for a 2-out single. So that will be the 3rd hit of the evening. Checked at the 4th for the Anchorage Bucs. Alex Gannett now coming up to the dish. The catcher is 1 for 1 with a single back in the 2nd inning. Aruda takes his lead at first. Frederick sets, delivers. This one is a 1-chopper over to Angelo Armenta at short. He sends a nice little underhand toss to Levi Jordan going the short route. So it's a 6-4 put out if you are keeping score at home for the 3rd out of this inning. We are done with 4 innings here in a 7-inning contest in the 2nd showcase game of the night for the Miners. They lead it by a score of 2-0 here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Jake Scudder leads things off here for the Miners. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 the score in this 7-inning affair. And a new man on the hill for the Bucs, Dalton Chapman. He fires away that one low and outside for ball number 1. Dalton Chapman on the season. He's pitched in relief 6 times, has thrown 9 innings, given up 7 hits in that time frame. 5 runs, they're all earned. 7 free passes, 4 strikeouts, comes in with a record of 1-0 and an ERA at exactly 5. The count now 2-0 on Jake Scudder. And here's the delivery. Just catching the outside part of the plate for strike 1. I will say, these games, technically, in terms of if you're just speaking about the ABL standings and the outcome this season, well, they have no impact on that. But what they do have an impact on is being able to show these scouts in attendance the type of player you are. It's only a small sample size for the scouts this weekend, but it's fun to see these boys out here playing in front of a lot of scouts here in the ABL and showing the kind of talent we have. The Miners putting up 7 runs last inning so far, too, and if they can be victorious, they won't only show that they are equipped with a good bit of talent, but can also win a few ball games and down their opponents, and that's cool to say as a broadcaster. This one popped up in the air, short center field, and it's a shortstop, Alan Trejo, making the grab for out number 1. So it's my first time doing any bit of a showcase type of a broadcast, but I must say it is quite enjoyable. And up comes Tyler Wyatt, the designated hitter. The first pitch he is going to see is low and outside for a ball. Chapman rocks, delivers, strike 2. Or check that, strike 1. 1-1 the count now with 1 out on the designated hitter, Tyler Wyatt. And you could close the book on Sean Sparling. He went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts in the 20 batters he faced. So where we stand now, he is in line for the L. Let's hope it just stays that way. It's the 2-1 pitch from Chapman inside, ball 3. Tyler Wyatt looking to pick up either the 9th hit or his first walk. He's going to slap this one, and it's going to go all the way to the wall in right field. Wyatt makes a turn. He digs for second, and he will pull up right there with a 1-out double. So a single and a double, 2 for 3 in this ball game is Tyler Wyatt. Dual threat guy for the Miners.
He had a chance at a triple, but the Miners opting to play it a little safe, keep him over there at second base.
Tyler Wyatt, we talked about a little earlier in the broadcast, starting game 1 of this doubleheader. He went 4 2/3 innings of work, gave up 2 runs, did not pick up the W because he didn't throw a complete 5 innings, even though he did well enough to earn a win. And how does Ben Taylor reward him? Well, he puts him in the lineup as a designated hitter in the 4th spot, and Wyatt rewards his skipper again, just giving off some favors back and forth, and they're rewarding each other, the skipper and the player. He goes 2 for 3 in this game, does Wyatt, with a single and a double. Garrison Schwartz is at the dish now. The count is 0-2 on him with 1 out. Wyatt over there at second. It's a 2-0 ball game. Your Matsu Miners lead it here. The 0-2 pitch from Chapman, high for ball 1. It is the showcase and all-star break for the clubs up here in Alaska. And the Matsu Miners in sole possession of first place. The Peninsula Oilers are in second. They're 2 games back. Both clubs from Anchorage, that being the Pilots and the Bucs, 2.5 games back, tied for third place. And the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks in last with that 12-18 record. They are 5.5 games back behind the Miners. Swinging a miss, and now down goes Schwartz. That is the second out this inning, and it will bring up the right fielder, Cam Montgomery. When you talk about those Chinooks, they're 5.5 games behind first place, but 3 games out of that last playoff spot. Bucs and Pilots so far would be the last 2 teams making it in, but we still have a couple more weeks of conference play as soon as the All-Star game is done. Once we finish up that season, we hope our boys are not only in the playoffs, but have that number 1 seed. If they do, then they're going to be having home field advantage for the duration of the playoffs as ever long as they go. Two and 0 the count here. A nice little hitter's count on the right fielder, Cam Montgomery. That one way inside. 3-0 the count on him now. We'll see if he takes all the way or if he's hacking at this 3-0 pitch. It's Wyatt at second. He doubled in this inning. That one is taken by Cam Montgomery for a strike. 3-1 the count, 2 out. It's going to be Chapman's delivery to Montgomery. Pops him up in the air. It's the shortstop Trejo. Cam's underneath it, makes the grab. And that's going to be all for the Miners here in the 5th inning. Wyatt doubles, but he's stranded there. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's your Miners 2, the Bucs 0 on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. It's a new pitcher on the bump for the Matsu Miners, the man out of Texas A&M, Stephen Kolick. Stephen Kolick taking over for Jordan Frederick. What did Frederick do this ball game? Well, he went 4 innings, he had 4 hits, no runs, no free passes, 2 Ks. Kolick on the year has made 3 starts for the Miners in his 14 innings of work, has allowed 16 hits, 6 runs, 4 of those were earned, 4 base on balls, 10 punch-outs, no record, 2.57 ERA. 0-1 the count here to Cole Maltese. He struck out looking back in the second inning. That was his only plate appearance. So this will be his second, and he is down in the count 0-2 to Stephen Kolek. The pitch from Kolek, way outside, ball 1. If you're just joining into the broadcast, we do welcome you. The Miners struck early in the top of the first inning. They tallied 1 run, also tallied a run in the 4th inning. So they lead it here. They have 2 runs on 9 hits, committed no errors. Bucs, no runs on 4 hits. They committed an error. The 2-2 pitch from Kolek. Low and in the dirt, breaking ball, 3-2. Miners looking for their second victory today. They defeated the Pilots earlier. That score was 7-4. Also a 7-inning contest, their first game of this Scout Showcase. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Maltese goes down swinging to start things off here for the Bucs. In the bottom of the 5th, up comes the right fielder, Ryan Johnson.
Now batting from TCU, right fielder number 32, Ryan Johnson.
And Dr. K's Pediatric Dentistry in Palmer believes the best dental care can only happen when a trusting and respectful relationship has been built between the doctor parents and their children in a safe, stress-free environment. It's Dr. K's goal to change to think about how you go into the dentist. Give them a call at 745-KIDS. That's 547 to make an appointment, or go online at matsumoose.com. At Dr. K's Pediatric Dentistry, it's that new, beautiful, brand new state-of-the-art dental office in Palmer. It's specially designed for children, and they're all about comfort and safety. Once again, you can check them out online at matsumoose.com or call 745-KIDS. Two outs here as Johnson grounded out to Levi Jordan that last AB. Shortstop Alan Trejo at the dish, and he has 2 strikes on him. Nobody on base for the Bucs. Kolek is toeing the slab in his first inning of relief for the Miners. He winds, he fires, low and in the dirt, ball 1. Same defensive alignment since the start of this ball game for the Miners. AJ Lee at the hot corner. DP combo, Jordan Armenta, Scudder at first. And here's the pitch. Catches the outside part of the plate, strike 3. So Kolek comes into the ball game, gets 2 strikeouts, and puts the Bucs down in order 1, 2, 3. And there's 2 innings left to play as we head to the 6th inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Your Matsu Miners lead it by a score of 2-0 on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Angelo Armenta, infielder for the Miners. He could play second, short, and third. It's shortstop in this ball game, leading things off here for the Miners. And he sends that ball right back where it came from, up the middle. Trejo cannot make the play. And Armenta is going to reach safely to start things off here in the top of the sixth inning for the Miners. It's going to bring up the catcher, Zach Sharpley, to the plate. And it looks like they will be awarding Armenta with a hit on that play. There's the delivery from Chapman to Sharpley, low in the dirt, ball one. Sharpley reached on an E5 and then singled in the fourth. That E5 coming in the second. Want to know the count on Sharpley? Chapman delivers. That one slapped foul. Sharpley digs into the batter's box. Awaits the 1-1. Armenta takes his lead at first. Chapman looks over. Now fires away. Lone in the dirt. Breaking ball. Moves the count to 2-1. Ten hits in this ball game for the Miners, and they are not done yet. They still have 2 innings to go before they're done. Throw over to first, but Armenta is back in sliding safely. They had 11 hits in the first game, so double digits in both ball games for the Miners. Showing off their talents to the scouts in attendance tonight. There's one more scout showcase game for the Miners. That is tomorrow, 7 p.m., the scheduled first pitch. It's going to be against the same Anchorage Bucs. And speaking of tomorrow, it's free yoga in the ballpark with the Matsu Miners at 11 a.m. if you can make your way out there. This one hit in the air to right field. Making the grab is Johnson for out number 1. The Miners were busy this week. They had 1 day off. But from the 12th and ending today on the 15th, it was the summer clinic. All days from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Community, how to play some baseball. And tomorrow it's the yoga in the park day, as well as the showcase and home run derby on Sunday and all-star games. So a very busy week for the Miners. Bynum sends this to first. Reynolds steps on the bag, gets Scooter out, throws it to second, can't get the out there as Armenta is in safely. So that 3 unassisted, working basically as much as a sacrifice bunt would have. And it's 2 outs with A.J. Lee at the plate now. He's only been retired once in his 6 plate appearances combined in games 1 and 2. 3 singles game 1, a double and a walk here. His only out came in the second inning when he grounded out to Trejo. Shortstop for the Bucs. The first pitch is a breaking ball. Outside and low for ball 1. Last time Armenta was on second base, he came around to score. That was via the single that plated him. That single, of course, coming off the bat of Scooter Bynum. The 1-1 to Lee. High and outside for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Chapman looks over to second. Armenta's there. Delivers, and it's ball 3 now to A.J. Lee. We're in the 6th inning here. Second game of the twin bill for the Matsu Miners. Levi Jordan on deck. Jake Scudder, the first baseman, in the hole if it gets that far. Chapman is coming from the stretch, and that is outside, ball 4. So A.J. Lee, back-to-back walks in his last 2 plate appearances. And he'll bring up Levi Jordan. Jake Scudder moves from the hole to the on-deck circle. The Miners scored their first run in the first inning, their second run in the fourth. Nothing but goose eggs on the scoreboard in terms of the runs column for the Bucs. Armenta takes off. He's digging for third, and he is safe, says the umpire Marcus Dolan.
Armenta had a really good jump after, actually it was before the pitch actually really happened. So he got a pretty good head start, but it was still a very close play over at third base.
That was a Ricky Henderson type of a jump right there. This one is popped up. Cody Reynolds under it, and he will make that catch. So down go the Miners here in the top of the 6th inning. They strand 2 runners on base. A.J. Lee at first, Armenta on third. He stole third from second, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Miners still with that 2-0 lead over the Bucs on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. It's L.J. Hatch, the second baseman, who's 1 for 2 tonight, who is leading things off for the Bucs in the bottom of the 6th inning. His ball club trails the Miners by a score of 2-0 here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. Gage Berlin, the new pitcher on the mound for the Miners. And Hatch is going to single off the first pitch he sees from the relief pitcher, Gage Berlin. Gage Berlin in for relief of Stephen Kolick. Stephen Kolick going 1 inning in his relief appearance. No hits, no runs, no walks. Fanned 2 batters. One of those batters was via the swing and a miss. That was Cole Maltese. One was looking. That was Alan Trejo to end the Bucs in the 5th inning. And Gage Berlin on the season so far for the Miners. He made 9 relief appearances, pitched in 9 1/3 innings of work, gave up 11 hits in that frame, 4 runs, and none of them were earned. 8 walks, 9 strikeouts, doesn't have a record, and does not have an ERA. It is all goose eggs. It's Steven Sensley at the dish in the left-handed batter's box for the Bucs. Runner on first, that's LJ Hatch, who's singled to start things off, swinging at the very first pitch he saw. Sensley 0 for 2 on the night. He digs into the batter's box. He has a 2-0 count. Berlin looks over to first, now throws over there, and back in safely is LJ Hatch. Berlin looking over once again. And now he comes from the set. This one launched in the air to left field. It is going to be foul. If it's fair, we have ourselves a tie ball game. Instead, it's just a very long strike off the bat of Sensley. And 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Hatch at first. Berlin on the bump, Sensley at the plate. Berlin is going to throw on over to first. Back is Hatch. Sensley, one of the more dangerous hitters in the Bucs lineup. He bats third. Cody Reynolds is on deck, first baseman and cleanup hitter. Berlin gets the signs from Sharpley, and this one is high, so 3-1 now on Steven Sensley. Gage Berlin is used typically during the season as the 8th inning man. Can also call it the setup man for the Miners. Jordan Floyd, the closer, or the 9th inning man as Skip Ben Taylor likes to call him. That 3-1 just catches the inside part of the plate for a strike, running the count full. But when you get into those late inning ball games, you have the 1-2 combination of Berlin and Floyd, and they've been spectacular all season. Jordan Floyd, a perfect 7 for 7 in save opportunities. The payoff pitch, runner goes, foul back. And if Berlin and Floyd could keep doing what they're doing, Berlin in his setup role, and then Floyd is the closer, that lethal combination, that 1-2 punch you have in the 8th and 9th innings, you turn that ball game, a 9-inning ball game that is, into a 7-inning game if you could be that dominant at the back end of the bullpen. If the Miners go to the 8th inning with the lead, you could just about wrap that one and send it into the record books for the ABL and chalk the Miners up with a big W. Sure, it might not be that case every time, but if they're consistent enough and if Floyd keeps doing what he's doing, that's going to be the case. I mentioned Floyd was a perfect 7 for 7 in save opportunities. He has a .56 ERA. Berlin's still yet to have any blemishes on his Ernie. Count remaining full here on the number 3 hitter for the Bucs, Steven Sensley. LJ Hatch at first. He's single to lead things off. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Berlin shakes off sharply, then says yes. He sets and now delivers. Runner goes right back at him. He's not going to have a play at second because LJ Hatch bolted for second base, but he will get the 1-3 put out. And it brings up Cody Reynolds, first baseman for the Bucs, with 1 out and a runner in scoring position.
Now batting from Sacramento State, first baseman number 20, Cody Reynolds.
Cody Reynolds is 0 for 2 on the night. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning and then flew out to Garrison Schwartz in left field back in the 4th. Hatch takes his lead at second. Berlin looks over there and now fires away. Low for a ball. 1-0 count with 1 out on Cody Reynolds, the cleanup man for the Bucs. Levi Jordan holds on LJ Hatch at second. Berlin comes from the stretch. This one cranked out over to left field, and Garrison Schwartz is there. And for the second time tonight, he will retire the cleanup man, Cody Reynolds. And now it is McCarthy Tatum. He singled in the third inning, flew out to center in his second plate appearance back in the fourth. So he's 1 for 2 on the evening. He'll come up here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, that being LJ Hatch over at second. First pitch to him from Berlin is going to be taken low for a ball. Miners with 10 hits this evening, the Bucs with 5. Infield and outfield at normal depth. This one popped up in the air, and it looks like Sharpley's going to make the play. Yes, he does, for out number 3. So the infield checked at the leadoff single by LJ Hatch, but he's going to be stranded at second by the end of this inning. So that will take us into the very last inning of play here in the second game of the Scouts Showcase, the 7th inning. It's the Miners 2, the Bucs 0, and it's on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Jake Scudder is going to lead things off here for the Miners in the top of the 7th inning. They lead it by a score of 2-0 here at Mulcahy Stadium. They scored their first run back in the first inning and their second run in the fourth. So far, so good. Here's the pitch to the Scud man, painting the corner, and that is going to be strike 1 from Chapman. This one slapped foul from the first baseman, Jake Scudder. Dalton Chapman in for his 3rd inning of work. Sean Sparling was tonight's starter. He went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits and 2 runs, 1 walk. He is in line for the loss. And for the Miners, it is Steven Kolick technically in line for the win. Frederick went 4 innings, and he was great. Only gave up 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Steven Kolick then comes in the 5th and has a perfect inning. 3 up, 3 down go the Bucs, and 2 strikeouts Kolick had in that inning. Gage Berlin in his first inning of relief just a half inning ago in the 6th. Only gave up 1 hit and kept the Bucs scoreless, as Scudder now flies out to Steven Sensley for the first out of this inning. Last call for alcohol here at Mulcahy Stadium. The Bucs fans are in attendance. They've done nothing but drown some sorrows away. For the Miners fans, if you're in attendance, you are so far enjoying the cold ones. I would imagine so. And if you want to talk about enjoying the cold ones, well, now with outdoor seating, you can enjoy refreshing drink and good friends outdoors in the Alaska sunshine. Located in downtown Palmer, the Palmer Bar is a great place to grab a bite to eat and take in the sights. Call 745-3041 today. Once again, that's 907-745-3041 if you want to get a hold of the Palmer Bar. Fantastic place to get a couple of drinks and grab a good old bite to eat. The 1-1 pitch here catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2 on the designated hitter Tyler Wyatt. Wyatt 2 for 3 on the evening, a single, a walk, and a fly out to right. The 1-2 from Chapman. This one is dribbled over to second base. And on over to first, Hatch to Reynolds for out number 2. So going to bring up the general, Garrison Schwartz. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning to plate the first run. That was Levi Jordan scoring. Grounded out to short in the third and struck out swinging back in the fifth. So this being his 4th plate appearance, he's officially 0 for 2. That pitch outside and low for ball 1 to Schwartz. Cam Montgomery, the right fielder, on deck if Schwartz could reach. And very quickly, the count now 2-0 on Geary. Schwartz batting .285 this season, 30 for 105. Once again, if you do the calculations on that, you'll see it comes up .285. He does have a home run and 10 ribbies. So not a bad campaign at all here in the summer for Garrison Schwartz. It's a 2-1 count on him. There's 2 outs, nobody on base in the top of the 7th inning. Schwartz and the rest of the Matsu Miners leading it 2-0. And this one is lifted high and deep in the air to left field, going back at the wall, and it's gone! It's not going to count for the conference standings, but the second home run of the summer for Garrison Schwartz. Hit me with it one time, Schwartz.
And he does this in front of his family who's here in town too. So he has to feel good. His girlfriend Jordan's also here. He has to feel really good right now.
He hits one out for the family. And that was a no-doubter. Maltese took about 2 steps towards the wall, looked up, and see you later, baseball. It was out of here. Garrison Schwartz with a dinger. Extends the Miners' lead to 3-0. And here's Cam Montgomery. First pitch to him. Breaking ball. It's low. It's in the dirt. It's ball 1. Montgomery 1 for 3 on the evening. He had a double back in the 4th inning. Takes that second pitch in the dirt, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Montgomery's going to spank that one over to third base, but it's a hang woof, and Miss Tatum is right there to make the grab. So that is a hard out for Cam Montgomery. He absolutely just shellacked that ball. But there awaiting was McCarthy Tatum manning the hot corner. And down go the Miners in the 7th inning. They are done batting for this night, no matter what the Bucs do in the bottom of the 7th. And we are going to head to that bottom of the 7th with the score Miners 3, Bucs 0. And it's on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. We talked about the lethal combination of Gage Berlin and Jordan Floyd last inning, that 1-2 punch. Well, coming in to relieve Gage Berlin right here, the bottom of the 7th inning. The last inning of play is Jordan Floyd. He has 14 relief appearances on the season. 8 hits against him, 1 run. It was earned. 7 walks, 20 strikeouts. Has a record of 1-1. Is a perfect 7 for 7 in save opportunities. And that ERA is at .56. The 2-0 to Aaron Arruda. This one hit hard toward left field. And Garrison Schwartz, the general, was on his horse and makes the grab. Attaboy, Schwartzy. And speaking of Garrison Schwartz, he homered in the top half of this inning. And, folks, I'll let you in on a little story here. We arrived at the ballpark. Garrison Schwartz is a left-handed hitter. And as soon as he got off the bus and grabbed his equipment, he said it's a good night to go Oppo Taco. And what does he do in the top of the 7th inning? He goes Oppo Taco, a home run in the top of the 7th. So he called it. And this is going to be, yes, indeed, a 4-3 ground out. Check that, 6-3. It was Armenta at short. 6-3 ground out. Very quickly, 2 up, 2 down. And Cole Maltese to the dish. He represents the final out here tonight. If you're just joining into the broadcast, well, at least in my world, I hope there's not much left. It's 3-0 the score here in the bottom of the 7th inning. No balls, 1 strikes, 2. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. On the left fielder, Cole Maltese. Miners over the Bucs currently by a score of 3-0. They need 1 more out, and they'll be victorious and sweep the first set of games of the Scout Showcase. The 1-1 from Floyd to Maltese. That's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Floyd shaking off the signs from Sharpley. Shakes it off again. And now there is going to be time called by the catcher. Floyd shaking off again. Now he winds, he delivers, and is going to plunk Maltese. So a hit by pitch there, and up comes Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson 0 for 2 on the night. He grounded to Armenta in the 3rd, and then grounded to Jordan in the 5th. And now it is the right fielder out of Texas Christian University, Ryan Johnson. Maltese at first. He was clunked with a pitch. There's no balls, there's no strikes, but 2 outs. Check swing. Did he go? No, says the umpiring crew. And now Silas Drayton is going to say, yes, he did. Home plate umpire says, oh, yes, he did. So 0-1 the count now on Ryan Johnson. Floyd with a look over to first. Now comes from the stretch. And that is a swing and a miss. And Johnson is going to take that one off the body part. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Miners with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. The Bucs do have a man at first, but it doesn't matter if you get the batter here. Johnson now taking a little bit of time to get back in the batter's box. But now settling in he does. Floyd with the 0-2. Lone in the dirt ball 1. Bucs are down to their final out of the ball game. Miners have 3 runs on 11 hits, committed no errors. Bucs no runs off 5 hits, committed 1 error. The pitch from Floyd, Ball game, swing and miss, strike 3, and down goes Ryan Johnson. So the Miners come into Anchorage, and they are victorious in the very first showcase game they play. That was against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 7-4. They had 7 runs on 11 hits and no errors in that game. And then here in the nightcap of their showcase doubleheader, 3 runs on 11 hits and no errors, shutting out the Anchorage Bucs. 3-0 final score. You could credit Stephen Kolick with the win, Sean Sparling with the loss. And you might want to say that this, seeing as it has no effect on the ABL standings, the boys are just out here showcasing their talents for the scouts. You might say, it has nothing to do with the ABL, so these games are somewhat meaningless, but they are very meaningless in 2 ways. One, the boys get to show off their talent to professional scouts, and 2, it still brings a little bit of good mojo to the clubhouse. Let's just say they would have blown this game tonight and lost by a score of 4-3 by giving up 4 runs in the 7th inning. You might feel a little salty, and you're not necessarily going to like the outcome. Sure, you could kind of say, well, just rub it off. It's not a big deal, but you get 2 wins here tonight, and that's going to make any ball club feel good, and especially when you can beat clubs like the Pilots and the Bucs, regardless of whatever the case is. It's good to see these boys get a victory. They are all huddling up as a team right now, having a little bit of convo. It looks like head coach Ben Taylor is leading the conversation, but a fantastic 2 games here for the Miners. It doesn't mean anything on the ABL standing sheet, but it does mean something in terms of momentum, mojo, and in the eyes of these scouts here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned that these wins have no effect on the ABL standings, and nor does it have the effect on the conference stats too. But it's always nice to see the team win the game, even though it technically doesn't mean something. But you're absolutely right. The momentum keeps them going forward into tomorrow's game, which is, I guess, a rematch against the Bucs tomorrow, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so it's definitely great to see that the Miners able to win both games here today, and they are keeping up that momentum. But how about this pitching performance by this ball club? This is a team that I believe did not give up a run. Yeah, they did not give up a run to the Bucs here today. Jordan Frederick was the starter. He went 4 solid innings, and that's really good considering he's not really a starter for this team. It was a spot start for him, and he made one other spot start down in Kenai last weekend, and he pitched pretty well, but the offense didn't do anything down there. But fortunately here today, they were able to get three runs here, but obviously the 4 innings for him is not going to qualify him for the win, but he does participate in a team win, so that has to mean for something.
Yeah, so it was Frederick, Kolick, Berlin, and Floyd shutting the door, combining for a shutout against these Anchorage Bucs. It was the boys out of GCU, Tyler Wyatt and Mick Vorhoff, who shut down the Pilots in Game 1. Mickey V, or Mick Vorhoff, as he officially goes by down here in Alaska, earned the win in that one. And once again, it's Stephen Kolick with the big W alongside his name in the showcase tonight. Sean Sparling with the loss. And that will wrap things up here on the broadcast. Garrison Schwartz, one of the main ones that stuck out tonight, going Apo Taco, as he called it before this doubleheader even began. A home run late in the ball game for him. Miners victorious in this one. And like I said, that will wrap it up. And we always like to wrap up the broadcast by extending a special thank you to both Pete and Denise Christopher, and for my broadcast partner, Jordan Schwick, Connor Higgins, the celebrity appearance that he had this for a half inning earlier in this ball game, and our media manager, Josh Grissom. I'm Dan Collins saying I'll catch you on the flip side here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.